Extra Inning fans, and welcome back to Season 4 of Extra Innings. I am your host, William Suttle, and I'm here with Jacob Bosiokovic, who pitches for the Memphis Redbirds, and he is a graduate from the Ohio State University. How are you doing today, Jacob?
Doing great. Glad to be here, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on today's episode. Like I mentioned, he is an Ohio State alum. He also went to high school in Delaware and is a local product from Ohio. So I want to pick up back when you were in high school. You made the decision to go to Ohio State. Why was it so important for you to say, yep, I'm going to be a Buckeye one day?
Yeah, so one of the most important things was being closer to home for my family and my parents and just the community I grew up in, and knowing what it means to be a Buckeye was super important to me. And then, like I said, just being home, being around what it means to be a Buckeye was humongous for me.
Yeah, and it's like, you get to be that local product.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we've spoken with some former Buckeyes who come from different states to come play, but no, like, this is in your backyard.
Yeah, that's a good point, because we had a lot of guys from Central Ohio, either in my class or a couple classes before and a couple classes after, where a lot of guys from Central Ohio stayed in Central Ohio.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
And it is too, because like you have that connection. You've seen them before on a diamond before. They're not brand new players. And then picking up, you had 3 phenomenal, well, I'd say spectacular seasons. You were a very strong force out on that baseball field, crushing that. You get drafted by the Rockies. You were at their farm system a brief minute, and then all of a sudden you're with the Cardinals as a pitcher. Stud stand out at Ohio State playing the field and hitting. Now you're with the Cardinals pitching. What goes into that to say, you know what, I'm going to wake up, now I'm a pitcher?
Yeah, so it was a little more complicated than that, but basically I had went through all my opportunities hitting with the Rockies. But they liked me as a teammate and what I was to the organization, and I had a good arm from the outfield. So they were just like, either you can take a release or you can stay with us and switch to pitching and just let it ride and see what you can do. So it was a pretty easy pick at that point.
So when you make that decision, obviously I'm assuming the first pitch is a fastball. Then you maybe get into changeup. Like, what do you learn next? Are you getting right into curveball? Are you trying to throw a slider? Like, how do you go from pitch to pitch to pitch?
Yeah, it was mostly fastball slider start, and then some changeup. Mostly just because of my arm strength, so I was able to do a little bit harder slider. Stayed with the fastball slider. Still working on that third pitch, but so far it's just been those 2.
Hey, whatever gets the job done, whatever gets the batter out. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the hardest thing for, especially for youth kids growing up, is they feel like they got to go throw everything in the kitchen sink. I think at the beginning of the game tonight, 7:27, when the Memphis Redbirds played the Clippers, Tristan McKenzie walked a couple guys. And it's like, at the end of the day, just throw some strikes, let them hit the ball, and let your teammates do the work for you. Of course, do you want to strike out everybody? That's really cool, But at the same time, as long as you have your teammates who help you, it's the same. Your ERA is going to be the same whether you strike them out or you have a ground out, which is a positive outlook for you to think about. Like, I don't need everything. I have what I have that works, and I'm successful in it. And then, so with being in the Cardinals organization, was there a certain coach? Was there a certain player, maybe a former player that maybe is not in the league anymore, that was like, hey, you're all right. This is how we do it, and this is how you're going to do it.
Yeah, I think to answer like other people helping me, I think it was just a matter of some of the alumni that are around this area that helped me the most.
Yeah.
To lean on guys like Tanner Tolley, who was in my draft class a year younger than me, who had a lot of experience pitching, had debuted at that point. So he helped me a lot. And really, what you said first, where like the end of my hitting career, it was a struggle, an absolute struggle. So learning and that lesson of how hard it is to hit, especially when, with people with the velocity I have, that I'm blessed to have, that the lesson of the end of my hitting career, knowing how hard it is to hit and what it's like facing good pitching and the guys that are aggressive, and then parlay that with the lessons that people from around this area helped me. It was a big help.
Which is good, because it's, I just spoke with a player a few weeks ago, and he made the comment about how it's a family. We're all trying to help one another. Yes, of course, does everybody want to make it to the majors, but we're all here to help one another. And it's good to know that, like, you have the support base, even if it's the Cardinals organization, it's former teammates, it's former coaches of yours. Everybody's here like, hey, we're going to help Jacob. We're going to get him where he wants to be. Because obviously when you make that transition, you just be like, all right, I'm done. Going back to my 9 to 5, And then the last thing I want to leave you with is being back in Columbus. This is your first time playing in Columbus since being a Buckeye. How did it feel knowing your family didn't have to make a long car ride, a long flight? Like, they're right here with you.
Super, super special. So all my parents are here, my in-laws, being so close, being back in this community, seeing out these games are crazy. So many people, and it's a lot of fun being here, even though we've been there. But the environment's great. My daughter's 13 months, so it's great having her here, being so close too. So coming back to this community, this area that I call home, and I've called home for many, many years, has been really great.
That's great. And it's so nice too, because I never forget when I spoke with Ronnie about it. He was so excited to walk his dog.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
nice.
you're like, it's just, you feel like a little bit normal. Like, you know, you're on the road, you're technically still playing the long season, but at the end of the day, you're like, oh, like I am, but hey, my family's here.
Exactly.
You know, they don't have to travel all the way down to Memphis, or, you know, maybe do a vacation destination somewhere where you're playing for the week. But no, we thank you so much for coming on tonight's episode, Jacob. Jacob Bosiokovic, pitcher for the Memphis Redbirds, is going to be doing great things one day. We can't wait to continue to watch your career, and we can't wait for your next call up to St. Louis.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.